gonna
2, 3.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Bad cops, bad cops. Bad cops, bad cops. Bad cops, bad cops. Bad cops, bad cops.
Yes, so many cops are on the tick. What do you expect when they use tear gas and tanks? Whether in a car or on a horse, cops don't mind using excessive force.
Bad cops, bad cops.
What you gonna do?
Bad cops, bad cops.
What you gonna do?
Bad cops, bad cops.
What you gonna do?
Bad cops, bad cops.
This is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Wait, was that a remix?
No, why? What happened? Something changed? We haven't played it in a long time, too.
Oh,
so
because
maybe.
it was like, like
I
I was like, damn, what the fuck happened to our intro? The fuck?
So this is kind of good news, I guess. The state of Oklahoma is not killing a black guy with weird chemicals because the pharmaceutical companies won't sell them that stuff anymore because it's barbaric. So they have to make their own chemicals.
So yay, we made progress. Instead of killing them, they're gonna cage them.
Yeah. So we want to pull up the facts about this case about Julius Jones, who has spent half his life in prison. Now, we have to talk about this because we have these other cases where people are being murdered on camera, yet somehow they get away with it because they're white, murdering people on camera. So this is where we are in the world right now. We have multiple trials of people being murdered on camera, yet there's like doubt about it. So,
and if you have a problem with us saying murdered on camera, let's talk about reckless homicide on camera.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Reckless homicide.
Yeah.
Woo! Nothing more reckless than homicide. So this is
reckless homicide.
So the Oklahoma, so pretty much what's been going on. I mean, this guy has had like cops. This guy's had like the parole board twice been granted. They said he should be grant parole, but the governor at least has gave him life without parole rather than kill him. So that's what happened today. He was supposed to die at 4:00 Oklahoma time. So
it's really crazy how the fucking parole board, who loves to lock people away, strong new evidence regarding his innocence. I mean, and the governor's like, no. Whether you're innocent or not, you're gonna stay there. I don't know, man. That annoys me.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So what happened was Julius Jones has been on death row in Oklahoma for 19 years for a 1990 murder he's always said he had no part of. And remember how the Conn Rittenhouse judge is holding his hand and giving him snacks like his grandpa. This guy got the opposite of that treatment. So got the total opposite. So
dropping charges that he's clearly guilty of.
Yeah.
This guy, like they're keeping him in prison for a charge that he's most likely not guilty of. So, and if you scroll back up, you can see what color his skin is, and you'll see the difference. Oh wow, look at that! Doesn't look like Kyle Rittenhouse at all.
He's intimidating. So
his innocence intimidates them.
So this story is crazy because I want to pull up this thing about how because it's happening in Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is outrageous. I just feel like the governor should have done more because Oklahoma is just like this barbaric place that even the world is like looking at and like what the fuck is going on over there in Oklahoma. So pretty much, there's been botched executions because these companies are not giving them the stuff to execute people anymore. So you have to haphazardly do it.
Yeah,
might as well just stop doing it.
Sell them the stuff. Yeah, they didn't want to sell them the stuff that would like kind of put them like under.
Yeah.
So when they would use the remaining chemicals, like they would be burning them from the inside out. They'd be screaming, fucking, bleeding through the skin, fucking scaring the gallery. Crazy, fucked up situations in the execution chamber.
So this is the layer of controversy over it. Is that not only they were going to execute him, like executing him like You might as well just chop his head off with a axe. It might be more humane than what they were planning to do with him.
But then, if that first chop doesn't do a lot, then they got to keep hacking. That's why they got rid of that. There's a reason why they got rid of that, okay?
But being burnt inside is like, I don't know.
Wow, that sounded like an R&B song, son.
Yeah. Or the DMX.
That sounded emotional. Feeling burnt inside.
Yeah, so here's what we need to know about Julius Jones's case. Julius was at home having dinner with his parents and sister at the time of the murder. However,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's it. That's the only thing that matters.
But his legal team, the prosecution, his defendant. His
lawyers were part of the prosecution team.
Yeah.
Mr. Jones did not match the description of the person who committed the crime. Nice.
So a man named Christopher Jordan matched the eyewitness's hair description, but claimed only to have been the getaway driver, but not the shooter at the trial. So 3 people incarcerated. This is up to interpretation, because they like a lot of people on the internet like to make it seem like everyone is like, if you're in jail, you're mentally ill and crazy. So these people testimonies don't matter because they're in jail and they're crazy people. So that's what's been said about this for years. So the impact of race.
I like how the governor thought he was doing something, right? And it's like the case. There is no case here. There's no case here. Oh, let's give him life without parole. See, we're good too. No, you got an innocent man in prison.
In this, the racial undertones of this is nightmarish. The officer who arrested Mr. Jones called him a nigger and dared him to run. They implied he would shoot him if he did. They love shooting black people while they're running. They love shooting black people in the back while they're running. It's a great heroic thing that white supremacists like to do.
Look at these impartial jurors too, man.
Yeah. 11 out of 12. That sounds so familiar. 11 out of 12 jurors were white. And one referred him to the N-word. And this is Jesse be taken out the back behind the courthouse and shot. So So when people are shocked about Wisconsin, like that's just normal shit. That's just like that's PG-13 shit that happens in the courtroom. So 1/3 of the district attorney's Macy's death penalty convictions have been overturned due to prosecutorial misconduct. So what is happening here? They're sending people to their deaths in horrible ways, yet it's doubt about these cases. Today,
sounds like Kyle Rittenhouse to me.
Yeah.
Sending people to their graves, doubts about these cases, and doubts. Wow.
And I have to tell you,
the thing is, like people always, people looking at me like, I'm this racist guy, or I'm just playing the race card and blah blah blah. And you know how much I hate it when people play the race card. You know how much I hate it, but
I don't know what that means.
That's stupid ass term. That's when people.
No, it's a stupid term.
Somebody disagrees.
Anytime what?
Racism.
Yeah, but the odds of that compared to people being murdered, that I don't give a shit. People pull out the race card.
It's so clear.
Yeah,
it's so clear. And I'm supposed to not be upset by it. I'm supposed to think, that things are working the way that they're supposed to work. Yes, the things are working as they're intended to work, but that's not how it's supposed to work. So when people would like to call it the justice system, I'm like, I have to correct them every time. No, this is the legal system. Because there's no justice is not the point. Because if it was, people like Mr. Jones would not be in prison right now.
So this is actually part of an article that a documentary series that was focused on the death penalty, because we're somehow we're the country that has this barbaric thing. That's why other countries laugh at us and kill their people, because they're like, you can't tell us what to do. You kill people with bleach and whatever. So
some of the most racist dictators, when the U.S. goes to talk to them about human rights, they're like, no, but look what you do to black people. And the dictators are racist as fuck themselves.
Exactly.
Right? Like,
Hey.
he's like, oh, don't be on your fucking moral high horse, yo. Like,
Yeah.
we know what you did last summer.
Yeah, exactly. So this documentary series, obviously this death penalty gets people so angry that Viola Davis made a whole documentary series about it.
It's Viola here. I'm the executive producer of a new docuseries called The Last Defense.
DC comic
Come
movies.
with me on a gripping journey where you get to examine the evidence that put 2 people on death row.
A bizarre development in the stabbing deaths of 2 young boys. Officials have now charged their mother with the murders.
I didn't murder my children.
19-year-old Julius Jones. The primary charge, murder in the first.
Killed a totally innocent person. So it was a crime that richly deserves the death penalty.
Oh my God, looking like Colonel Sanders.
Oh yeah, you're going to jail if that's guys like
to what can happen to folks when they get incarcerated and could potentially be incarcerated for the wrong thing.
The docuseries is important so people can understand that it is not always fair.
She was sent to death row
It
for a crime
usually
that I believe she
isn't
did
fair.
not commit.
There are stories that need to be told because they're stories that affect real people, real families.
It wakes people up. It gives a face, a heart, an image of those people that we have dehumanized in the past.
We just felt we needed to have another look-see inside of both of these cases.
There are enough holes in this case to drive a truck through.
I think in the way that you're going to see it on our show is a little bit different. It digs a little deeper.
I've become obsessed with trying to find out what was going on that night. Obsessed.
It's really important to have the public take a look in and draw their own conclusions.
It's not too late because Darley's not dead.
Now it's your job to say and to do whatever you will with it.
So this came out a few years ago, like an ABC primetime documentary series. It was like literally trying to save
all that shit. They still didn't get him out, even with all that. But you know what?
I mean, he's not being executed. That's the thing. They're not killing him. I mean, he's alive.
But they were going to up until today, even with all of that and that television series whenever it aired. But you know, I was thinking.
No, it aired in 2018.
Oh well, again, they still let him sit in there, and they still scheduled it, and they had to go to the governor, right?
Yeah.
And then the parole board is saying we are having doubts about his guilt, and the governor's like, okay, life in prison, no parole.
Yeah.
But you know, I was thinking about how America doesn't care about anybody's plight unless it's a pretty blonde woman.
Yeah.
And
that's
so,
not true because that pretty blonde woman is still in jail.
But one of the things I was thinking of is that, you know, that's a story that needs to be told. It needs to be more in the public eye.
Yeah, it was. It was on primetime TV 3 years ago, but she's
3 years ago, everybody was watching YouTube, not fucking ABC. You know what?
No, that's your perspective. I mean, a lot of people still watch TV. It's the thing. People watch those stupid ass mass dancer shit and whatnot. So people watch How to Go to Murder.
Now I'm depressed. I'm depressed.
So people
now I gotta
still
think
watch
about
TV.
the fact that people watch that shit.
Yeah, people still watch TV. Unfortunately, I don't even have a TV anymore, so I definitely didn't even know that show came out until yesterday. But at the same time, anything works. It's like almost like a shotgun blast of kind of like advocacy. You have to do everything possible for these people if you want to do any kind of movement. You have to do everything. You have to do everything. You know, like wave your hands in the air, honk your horn, and like, you know, fly a plane that etches their shit in the sky. You have to like do all kinds of things to get the advocacy for death because it's like I said, the system runs just as it's supposed to. It was just going to kill these people unless you make a noise. If you don't make a noise, it's going to kill these people. And it almost did. We almost had 2 hours. How many hours? It was 1:00 when he got the clemency.
3 hours. Yeah,
3
hours left.
What kind of mind fuck is that? You just fuck with someone's emotions at that point. So
I don't know. I just think that it's just a way to keep their boot on people's necks or their knee on people's necks. That's what I think.
Oh, how so?
You know the guy is innocent. and you still send them through all of that.
Oh,
a message in that.
And life is still life in prison without any parole.
Yeah,
even though,
but they were going to go ahead with all of this with the parole board knowing what they know.
Yeah, 3 hours, right? So he's still alive. He's still breathing. He can go to sleep tonight. I mean, that's a gift in some ways.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, people have been dragging his name through the grave since 1999.
Yeah, it's been a trip, right?
Like all of the best years of his life were stolen from him and continue to be stolen from him. I don't, I
That's
wonder.
The same thing with the Malcolm X. Remember the Malcolm X? The Malcolm X guy that's been framed.
The two guys were exonerated. One of them was already dead.
Yeah.
And the other one is 80-something years old.
Yeah, like, thank you. He even said in his statement himself, he said in his statement that I don't have time to be creative. Like, even though he gave me this freedom, I don't have time to do anything with it. He said
now
it in
he's
his
a prisoner in his 80-something-year-old body. It's over.
Like he said that in his statement. Even though he's been released from jail a few years ago, he still said in his statement that you guys, I don't have time to live, even though you did this. But it's also, I feel it's crazy that this stuff is happening. All this legal stuff, that kind of legal stuff, is happening within the framework of these 3 trials, with the Charlottesville trial, with the Rittenhouse trial, with the McMichaels Bryan trial, with the murder of Edmond Arbery. It's not the Edmond Arbery trial because he's not up for
he's
trial.
Not the one on trial. Yeah.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's so even though they try to make it seem like the bullets, he threw the bullets inside of himself. He took the bullets out the gun and put it in. That's what make it seem
he
like
just grabbed it and shoved it into his,
ridiculous. So you guys, it's gonna be a lot of news next week, and that's what I'm feeling. Thanksgiving, it's gonna be a lot. If you have Thanksgiving dinner, I feel sorry for you because you're gonna be. Hopefully, you guys can talk about something else. So this is Black Power Magic Hour, and Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, act.tv, and then Dr. Genius. He's talking shit on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and that's bad cops. I mean, that is some serious bad. That's just bad.
Some bad judging.
Yeah, bad. A lot of things.
Bad prosecution. Bad defense attorneys. Bad legal system.